let's take a look now at what we call our developmental stages of writing. In your Getting Ready to Write guide, you actually have this information on page 8. So with that guide in front of you, open up to page 8 now. I'm going to take you through those developmental stages just to build in a little bit of background. And what I want you to be thinking about is, where are my students? Who are the writers in my classroom? What stage are they on? And what am I going to do to build up their vocabulary in terms of writing? How am I going to get them to move from one stage to the next? Now, when we talk about developmental stages, we talk about the fact that we don't want to push students through these stages, but certainly there's plenty that we can do to really help them to see what writers do. So let's look at stage 1. A stage 1 writer oftentimes just writes and scribbles. There's some things that look like letters, but there's no evidence of the sound symbol relationship. When you look at a stage 1 writer, there's usually a drawing that goes with it. But when you look at this sample that I have right here, you can tell there's no correlation between the drawing that the student has created and the words that you see on the page. So, do any of you have a stage 1 writer in your classroom? Hopefully you're all shaking your heads yes. You know what I'm talking about. So let's look at stage 2. Stage 2 writers, now we begin to see some recognizable letters. Students are beginning to understand the sound symbol relationship. Look at sample number 1. These students were asked to write about their favorite toy. So, student number 1 writes, "I like riding my bike." And you can see that they use the first letter of every single one of those words. The second student writes, "I like playing with my doll, baby Jakey." And student number 3, "My favorite thing is my electric pencil sharpener." Gotta love that kid, right? So in this stage, what you find are that students are beginning to understand that the letters that they write correlate with the writer's ideas. It's still a list or a label or really just one thought. Now, in looking at stage number 2, think about your authors in the classroom that you have this year. Do you have any stage 2 writers? And then I want you to look carefully at something. Look at example number 1 versus example number 3. Some of you are thinking, wow, that's a lot of time between just putting down the first letter of each word to "my favorite thing is my electric pencil sharpener" with all of those letter sounds. And you're right, there's a vast amount of work that goes into stage number 2. So some of you probably will have stage number 2 writers for quite some time. All right, let's go to stage 3 now. Now you're going to see that there are some complete thoughts. The sentences might be related in some way, and certainly we've got phonetic spelling still apparent, but there may be some words that have been directly taught, sight words. Let's take a look. "I love my Willa doll. I play with her a lot. I got her from Texas." Example number 2. "His name is Syl. I got him from my babysitter. He is my favorite stuffed animal." And then example number 3. "My teddy bear. I love her and I love her a lot. If I cannot find her, I could not sleep." The end. So stage number 3, we're starting to see some emerging writers here. Now remember that reading and writing are on a parallel track. Think about your stage 3 writers. Who are they as readers as well? So moving on, let's take a look at stage 4. Now we're going to see evidence of what I would call story. There will be a beginning, middle, and end to this particular piece. The sentences are related. Certainly phonetic spelling shows up. These students were asked to write about their favorite day. So, student number 1. "A soccer game. It is a big morning because I have a soccer game. I am Team White. It was a tie. There are 10 kids on my team. It was a lot of fun and it took teamwork." Example number 2. One day that was very special was when my brother helped me ride my bike with no training wheels. I yelled and yelled, "Let me go." I did. And before I knew it, I was riding my bike with no training wheels for my first time. Notice all of those exclamations. I felt so happy, it was at my house. So even though we can see that there's a beginning, middle, and end, this story is not truly well developed. If we think about what a story is, the purpose is to entertain an audience of others. We really want to begin to see that emerge in our writers. So our stage 4 writers, although they can write a beginning, middle, and end, haven't really gotten towards that entertaining quality just yet, but they'll get there. So, who has a stage 4 writer in their classroom? I'm sure if you're a first grade teacher, you're thinking, yep, I have them. Let's go to stage 5. An intermediate story with a beginning, middle, and end. The ideas are developed, it's organized, and makes sense. Now we're going to start to see some of the details emerge. On the day that was special to me is when my little sister was born. My mom was at the hospital. My little sister was born in the summer. I went to camp and then I went to the hospital and I saw her and I said, "She's beautiful." My dad came home. My mom was still in the hospital. I felt good. 3 days later, my mom came home, and from that day to this, I play with her, I'm nice to her, and I love her. I love to read to her. She likes to look at my homework, and she rips books. Once again, you begin to see that beginning, middle, and end emerge, but then there's that specific detail. When the author writes, "She's beautiful," or that she likes to look at my homework and rip books. That's some very specific entertaining quality as we move through these stages. All right, the final stage. Now, when we begin to look at a stage 6, the expectation is not that every first grade student is going to be at a stage 6 at the end of first grade, but rather this is the way that a writer develops. So I need you to be aware of that. And of course, thinking about who your authors are, do you have any stage 6 writers? Let's look. This is now an advanced story with a solid beginning, middle, and end. The ideas are well developed and certainly expressed very clearly. It's organized. The sentences will start to vary in structure. And the details are going to enhance the writing. My special day in my life is when I came home from a birthday party and I saw a sheet covering something. My family was at my house asking me what it was until I gave up and my mom told me a clue, and it was guinea pigs. I felt so happy and so excited that I took the sheet off and I picked one up. I have 4 guinea pigs now and had 2 before. I love my guinea pigs and take care of them. They're so cute and fuzzy that I go upstairs to my room, get a hair clip, come back downstairs and clip it in their hair. I give the guinea pigs rides in my brother's huge dump truck. They look out the back to see where we're going. My guinea pigs love me and I love them. Here's a secret. I kiss my guinea pigs on the... What do you think that last word might be? Well, it's gone for all time. It got taken off of the particular piece of writing, but I'm really hoping it's the top of the head. Not sure if that's the truth. So, a stage 6 writer has a clear beginning, middle, and end. You'll see that it's an advanced story. And here's the truth. If I were a 2nd grade teacher and this was the writer that walked in my door in September, I would certainly be doing the happy dance. So, as you're thinking about your own classroom, where do your students lie? What kind of writers do you have? Once you understand where they are developmentally, then we can begin to talk about instruction and how the Getting Ready to Write guide is really organized.